Hey guys, I'm Dan. Welcome to Dan Safari. Today we will take a look at Shark's collection, my Shark toys collection, and we have a book right here that contains, I think, 5 figures, or is it 4 figures? Let's have a look, okay? So it comes with minifigures. This one seems to be a tiger shark. Let's take a look. Doesn't have its name, but if this is definitely a tiger shark, I'm gonna put it right over here. And we also have a small little great white shark, I suppose. And this one seems to be a blue shark. And for this, it's definitely the hammerhead shark. Okay, so let's take a look at our sharks collection. First one right here is an extinct shark, the Megalodon. You can see it has different rows of teeth, and it has the ability to grow back its tooth. Okay, maybe one tooth or several teeth. When it falls off, it can grow it back, which is pretty incredible. Okay, next up we have a tiger shark right here. You can see it has tiger stripes. It has stripes just like the stripes of a tiger. Alright, now we're gonna take a look at this book. This book basically contains plenty of really cool facts, so let's read them together. Anatomy of a killing machine. Okay, sharks are constantly shedding teeth, like what I've told you guys just now. They can go through more than 20,000 teeth in a lifetime, so they actually shed their teeth and grow back new ones. Sharks have skeletons made of cartilage rather than bones, so they are very, very flexible. You have cartilage in your nose, so our nose bone is actually very soft as well. Okay, let's read one more page. What is this? Okay, let's try to find this. The whale shark is a gentle giant. I didn't put my whale sharks collection over here, but perhaps we can actually switch it over here very, very soon. Saw sharks grow up to about 5 feet. Let's try to find our saw shark. We should have at least one saw shark in our collection, so let me just try to find it. Where is it? Saw shark. Let's try to find it together. Saw shark. This is the saw shark. Saw sharks grow to about 5 feet long. They feed on fish and they are harmless to humans. I didn't know that they are harmless to humans, so we have learned something new. Okay, now we take a look at other shark figures in the box, okay? How about this one? This is a hammerhead shark, and it looks very adorable. I think they have done it to, it looks more cartoonish, too cartoonish. And this is supposed to be a hammerhead shark baby. Interesting. And here we have another hammerhead shark. As you guys can see, the shape of the head looks like the shape of a hammer. And this hammerhead actually allows them to have a wider field of vision. And it also serves as a tool, so they can actually use their head to press down, for example, like some stingrays, while they feed on it. So it's very, very useful. Okay, now let's move on to the next page. Okay, the next page, and see what facts do we have. Megalodon and the great white shark. So this is the size comparison. So this is the Megalodon, which is a prehistoric shark. It is extinct. Okay, fossil studies revealed that Megalodon was a shark of titanic proportions. It has enormous teeth and jaws. Evidence suggests that some specimens were over 50 feet long and weigh over 143,000 pounds. That is just massive. Okay, next we take a look at... We don't have any cow sharks, to be honest with you. Let's move on to the next page. Let's try to find... Yes, we have a tiger shark. Let me try to find another tiger shark. So this is the tiger shark. So weird, tiger sharks are sometimes called the garbage cans of the sea because they will eat almost anything. Shark stomachs have been found to contain many strange things, including old tires, money, a bottle of wine, and even a chicken coop. So they basically eat everything. They're like garbage cans. That is very, very interesting. Okay, moving on. What is this? This one is a gray reef shark. So, yep, gray in color. Let's move on. And this one is known as a Megamouth shark. Hopefully, we're able to find and read some facts about the Megamouth shark later on, okay? Okay, so here we have a Caribbean reef shark. I don't think we have any Caribbean reef shark in our collection, but we definitely have some reef sharks for sure. So let me just try to find a reef shark to show you guys. Okay, I think this is a white-tip reef shark. It's not a Caribbean reef shark. And Caribbean reef shark usually inhabits coral reefs and spends a lot of time resting on the ocean floor. Very, very interesting. Okay, bull shark. Let's find our bull shark. I have one bull shark in my collection. Apparently, they are one of the most ferocious shark species out there. Okay, and let's take a look at what is written right here. The bull shark is one of the only sharks that can swim in salt water or fresh water. Wow, so they can actually swim in both salt and fresh water. That is very, very unique. All right, moving on. Let's see what else we've got right here. Wow, this looks really cool. A baby shark. A school of sharks is known as a shiver of sharks. I didn't know that. I've actually forgotten about it. So shiver, I think, because it's pretty frightening, I suppose. Hammerhead shark. Let's try to find one hammerhead shark. We should have more hammerheads in our collection. So, yep, here's another one. Cool. Hammerhead shark. This is a 1991 figure. So let's read. Of the 9 known species of hammerhead sharks, 3 are endangered, including the great hammerhead, the largest member of the group, and the scalloped hammerhead. I have a scalloped hammerhead shark in my collection as well. Let me try and find it for you guys. Okay, let's try to find the scalloped hammerhead shark. Is this the one? Nope, this is just a common hammerhead shark. Scalloped hammerhead sharks, they actually have like curvature on their head. Okay, I can't seem to be able to find it, guys. I can't seem to find it. Maybe later on. That's fine. Okay, let's continue with our sharks collection. So what is this? This one seems to be a great white shark. A very realistic looking shark. You can see it looks so terrifying. I mean, at least to me. And here we have another great white shark. There are plenty of different renditions of the great white shark. Different style, I would say. And here we have one short fin Mako shark. I think this is our one and only short fin Mako shark in our collection. And let's see what else we've got. I'm still trying to find. Yes, this is the scalloped hammerhead shark. So let's read. Yeah, the largest member of the group and the scalloped hammerhead. This is the scalloped hammerhead. You can see like there are some bumps and some curves on the hammerhead. Very, very interesting for sure. Okay, moving on. What do we have right here? This is an oceanic white tip shark. So you can see they are like white tip on the fins. Okay, what about this one? This one is a huge shark. It's a basking shark. It is a filter feeder. It can actually open its mouth and take in all the water and filter out all the small food particles. Okay, let's move on. Great white shark. We have plenty of great white sharks, and here is another one. As far as we know, the great white shark is the largest predatory fish in the world. Larger specimens weigh 5,000 pounds and may grow to be 16 to 20 feet. Efforts to protect this vulnerable species include tagging specimens, monitoring migration routes, and educating the public. Very, very nice. Okay, let's see what else we've got. Maybe we have more species of sharks. The Mako shark. We definitely have a Mako shark in our collection, and this is the Mako shark, and this is basically the Mako shark from Safari Ltd. Let's have a look at what facts, is written right here. These amazing hunters are the fastest known shark species. They are capable of putting on a burst of speed that exceeds 45 miles an hour. That's faster than the top speed of a racing greyhound. Very, very fast. The fastest species of sharks. Mako sharks are often hunted for their meat, fins, and hide. That's very, very poor thing. Hopefully, we can stop this. Mako sharks can grow to over 14 feet long and weigh over 1,000 pounds. The torpedo shape, you can see, this is the shape of the body. Very aerodynamic, just like a missile, like a torpedo. Okay, the torpedo shape helps them move swiftly toward the unsuspecting prey. Very, very awesome. Okay, this one also looks like a Mako shark, but it's actually a blue shark. Okay, it's known as a blue shark. Interesting one. Here we have another tiger shark in our collection. What about this one? This one seems to be a zebra shark or a leopard shark. Yep. So hopefully we're able to read some facts about leopard sharks. That would be nice. Hammerhead shark. Let's grab hold of one of our hammerhead sharks. This is a hammerhead. Hammerhead sharks are named for their unusual structure of their heads. So this one looks like a hammer. You see, it looks like a hammer, right? Which are flattened and laterally extended onto a hammer shape called a cephalophoid. So this one is actually known as a cephalophoid. Okay, there are definitely more facts about the hammerhead. The great hammerhead can grow to 20 feet long and is the largest of the 9 known species of this shark. Alright, their wide set eyes give them better visual range than most sharks. Like what I've told you, they have a larger field of vision than majority of the other sharks. Very nice. Okay, so let's move on. Tiger shark. We have more tiger shark facts right here, but let's have a look at the rest. This one, it's one of the at least to me, it looks very, very terrifying. The goblin shark. Right, this is a figure from CollectA. This one, I am not exactly sure. It seems to be a salmon shark because I do have one salmon shark in my collection, but the spots are actually on the bottom of the body instead of the top. So it might not be a salmon shark. So this is a salmon shark. Another Megamouth. Megamouth, I think they are very rare. They are very hard to find. And here is another great white. This is a lemon shark. I suppose the name actually comes from its color. It's slightly yellowish. I'm just making a guess. I'm not exactly sure though. Alright, let's move on. So tiger sharks. Let's grab hold of one of the tiger sharks and let's have a read together. Young tiger sharks have black stripes on their gray backs and sides. These stripes fade as the shark matures. They are aggressive hunters and not picky about what they eat. They inhabit warm waters throughout the world. Wow, they live in warm waters. Tiger sharks tend to stay in deep water during the day and come closer to the surface to hunt for dinner. Very, very nice. They have serrated teeth. Wow, serrated teeth with a saw-like hook that can crack even the tough shells of sea turtles. Poor sea turtles. I love sea turtles. And this one is a shark ray. Alright. And this one, if I'm not wrong, is a bamboo shark. Yep, a bamboo shark. So there are different species of sharks. And this one is known as a nurse shark. Okay. And this one is a zebra shark. Black tip reef shark, if I'm not wrong. Let's have a look. Black tip reef shark. Okay, let's move on to... Oh, there's no more. Unfortunately, the book is just really thin. But if you guys like me to read from books, let me know. I'll definitely get like bigger books of sharks and we can talk about the facts together. And here's another great white. Saw shark. Beautiful one. Or sawfish. Sawfish. This is a fruit shark. Fruit shark. And here's another shark ray. Interesting one. This one, if I'm not wrong, it's a zebra shark. Let's have a look. It doesn't have its name, but I think it's a zebra shark. This is an angel shark. I don't have any facts about this angel shark. It's my one and only angel shark in my collection. We got it like not too long ago. Basking shark looks terrifying, but it's actually pretty harmless. Thrasher shark, the one with the extremely long tail that can be used as a whip to stun its prey. Another sawfish. This one, let's call this a leopard shark, okay? But you can actually call it a zebra shark. They are actually the same. The spots and the stripes, they will actually change. Wow, seems like we have two exact same figure. And here's the bonnet head shark. It looks a little bit like a hammerhead, but the head structure is actually way shorter. And this one, it's sand tiger shark. I read that they are actually quite shy, so they're not dangerous. What about this one? Let me know, what is this? Is this like a black tip reef shark? Probably. You can see a lot of black tips. This figure is from Papo and it doesn't have his name below. This is a wobbegong. Okay, a wobbegong, another shark ray, and we have one octopus that we definitely need to relocate into another box. So yep, this is my shark toys collection. Hopefully you guys like it, and I'll see you guys in the next one, okay? Thanks and goodbye.